Welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. Summer's coming to an end, and I'm so excited to show you how to make this Ritz Carlton lemon tea pound cake that has been going viral this summer. I decided to try it, to make it, and I'm ready to show you how to make this delicious cake. All right, we're going to start off with a few ingredients. Of course, you want to have your flour, your sugar, your eggs. I'm using lemon, the lemon juice, the lemon zest, vanilla, some butter, some shortening, and some whole milk. So that's the majority of the ingredients, a little baking powder and a little bit of salt. And that's everything to get us started. So of course I've said before that when you're baking, you definitely want your ingredients at room temperature. Now my butter here, it's almost at room temperature. It's a little harder and colder than I like. I'm trying the Kerrygold Irish butter for this recipe, but any regular butter will work just fine. As you see, it's not as soft as I like. It's almost there, but I'm still going to go ahead and use it. So that's 2 sticks, 1 cup of butter, and then I'm also using a half a cup of butter shortening. So I'm going to add that in addition to the butter. So we have 2 sticks of butter and a half cup of shortening. And then I'm going to start to mix those. And we're going to do the mixing for about 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to mix the butter, the sugar, and the lemon zest. I'm using a tablespoon of lemon zest. I find this is a good way to extract some of the lemon flavor at the beginning, then adding it all at the end if you're using zest of any kind, to start your zest in the beginning mixture with your butter, your sugar, and your zest. That way, all that flavor is infusing into the sugar and the butter. So it's the first layer of flavor. So I'm going to mix these ingredients together, like I said, for about 5 to 7 minutes. And there I am adding in the lemon zest. A tablespoon of lemon zest might be 1 to 2 lemons. Now for my sugar, I'm using 2 3/4 cup of sugar. The recipe called for 3 cups of sugar, but I used a little less. But if you like, you can just put in 3 cups of sugar. And once again, just mixing this well until everything becomes light and fluffy. And that's just going to take a few minutes. But I don't know about you, but I love lemon pound cake. So I make quite a few in different variations. One of my favorites is a 7-Up pound cake, which has that lemon flavor in it. So this is my first time trying out this Ritz Carlton lemon pound tea cake. I believe that's what they call it, from 1927. So it's just an old historical recipe, and I decided to see what it would taste like and how moist it would be and how much lemon flavor would be in this cake. Now I'm adding in my eggs. You need 5 large eggs. I had medium eggs on hand, so I used 6. And of course, the eggs are at room temperature. So I'm adding in my eggs 1 to 2 at a time. Mix a little here, add the rest. Mix a little there, add the rest. So at this point, I'm adding in those eggs, and I'm going to continue to mix this batter until everything is well incorporated. Okay, everything's looking good. As you see so far, I've mixed the butter, the sugar, the lemon zest, and the eggs. So it's nice, smooth, and creamy. These are the wet ingredients. I still need to add in my extracts. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 to 2 teaspoons of lemon extract also. So I'm going to add that at this time and continue to mix a little bit more, and then I'm going to get ready to prepare my dry ingredients in another bowl. Now, one thing that raised my eyebrow about this recipe is it adds quite a bit of baking powder, and generally you don't need a lot of baking powder if you're making pound cakes. Maybe a little, maybe none at all, but this one does add a tablespoon of baking powder, and it cooks at a high temperature. But it came out very good, but it's different than I normally will make my cakes. So now here's my other bowl. I'm going to mix the dry ingredients, and that's just flour. 3 cups of flour, all-purpose flour is fine, and 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and about a half a teaspoon of salt. And just want to mix those well. Make sure you get out all those little lumps. And that's the dry ingredients. This cake is really simple. So if you like making cakes, if you've never made a cake before, I believe this is a simple recipe to follow. Okay, as I'm mixing these dry ingredients up well, let me take you back to when I added the extracts into the wet ingredients. At the time that I added in the extracts, that's the lemon extract, the vanilla extract, that's when I also added in my fresh squeezed lemon juice. 6 tablespoons of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, which is great because it gives the cake that fresh lemon flavor. I did also add that lemon juice in at that time. I didn't show it on camera, but I want you to know to add in your lemon juice at the time that you add in the extracts and mix it up well. It may make your wet ingredients look a little curdled for a while, but then we're going to add in the dry ingredients. So I just had to rewind for a minute. Now, going forward, it's time to add in the flour, the dry ingredients, and our whole milk. So those are the 2 ingredients that are left. And as you see, I'm alternating as I add those into the wet ingredients. First, starting off with flour, add about a third of the flour in, then add half your milk, more flour, the rest of the milk, and then you want to end with the rest of the amount of flour. Mix that, don't over mix, mix until it's just well combined. And then as you will see, I will stop mixing. I will take my little spatula and I will continue to mix the rest. You never want to over mix a cake batter. That will make a tense, or should I say a dense, not a tense, but a dense cake. And we want our cakes light and fluffy and moist. So these are my final ingredients. Just mixing those up real quick. And then I'll get my flat spatula and mix the rest by hand, making sure not to overmix the batter. Okay, we're bringing this plane in for a landing. We're almost there. The batter is almost completed. This is how it should look. It's a little brighter in yellow color because of the type of butter that I use, but this is just fine. And I preheated my oven to, the recipe calls for 350 degrees, and I was like, ouch, that's just so high. So I did take it down 10 degrees, and I baked this cake at 340 degrees. You want to bake it between 55 minutes, probably to about an hour and 5 minutes. But I would definitely check it at 55. And if you know how to check to see if a cake is done, you just take a little toothpick or a knife, poke it down the middle. If it comes back up dry, then you know your cake is ready. If it comes back up and crumbs or batter is still on it, you know it needs some more time. So I baked this 340 for about an hour, hour and 5 minutes, and then I brought it out the oven. So there the cake batter is, and it's ready to go into a greased bundt pan. Here's my pan. As you see, it is greased. I just sprayed it with some baking spray, but you know, the old school way is just as good. And that's when you grease it with some butter, then add a little bit of flour, shake the excess off, and then your pan is also ready. Now it's time to just add in the cake batter to my bundt pan, and then go ahead and place it in the oven. Cake batter is ready for the oven. Gave it a little shake, a little knock on the counter, get the air bubbles out, and it's going in. And just for the sake of the camera and the video, it's going to be coming right out. And this is the cake that we have made. Look how good that cake looks. Look at that beautiful color fresh out the oven. It's the Ritz Carlton lemon pound tea cake. Look at that, y'all. It is so pretty. And I must admit, it needs to cool about 15-20 minutes. I didn't let it cool that long because it was getting late. So I took the cake out the pan after a few minutes. There was a couple imperfections, but that's okay. Look how I put that knife in, brought it out, and it's clear. That means the cake is ready. And just like that, I went ahead and put a little powdered sugar on it, and the cake is ready to be consumed. It was delicious. This is a great cake recipe. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. Until the next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week. Thanks for watching my videos. Remember to subscribe and share and like.